Kentucky Derby.
You're watching Past the Wire TV, the biggest races at the best tracks. From the Kentucky Derby to the Breeders' Cup. The best horse racing coverage is right here on Past the Wire TV.
Welcome into another episode of Sunday Morning Coffee on Past the Wire TV. I am Big Race Jim. You are you. Thank you to SureBet Coffee, AmWager, Pleasant Acres every Sunday morning, except when I've been traveling. We're coming to you, and we're in the thick of summer racing, and there's been a lot of chatter on horse racing Twitter about how Saratoga is a dud and the racing there stinks. The commissioner himself, Mike Rapoli, even said that Friday's card, you'd have thought that it was an aqueduct card in the middle of February. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. And we'll dive into that in a little while. We had the Jim Dandy yesterday, which is always my favorite race of the summer. It's when all the horses that we cheered for, fell in love with during the Triple Crown and the lead up to the Triple Crown, through the Derby and through the Preakness of Belmont. It's when they typically come back to the track, and it's the first time we've seen them in a couple of months, which is always exciting. A short field of 5, which we always seem to get now with stakes races at NYRA. And Sovereignty, the Kentucky Derby winner, the Belmont winner, did what he does, and that's just continue to win. And did he do it impressively? Depends on how you view the race. So let's take a look together.
And they're off in the Jim Dandy, presented by Mohegan Sun.
So
And
they break out.
Breaks alertly. Baeza is up
They
close,
break
and
out
Sovereignty
here,
very sharp out of the
and
gate,
I
right
thought
off of Moplex. So they
the
move into the first turn, and
there
the
are a
New
couple
York
of
bred
interesting
Moplex
things.
with the advantage.
I'm going to shut this volume off because it's a little distracting. But, I thought Sovereignty was a little bit closer than I would have expected. Sandman certainly a lot closer than I would have expected. And let's face it, it just didn't help him. It didn't help him at all. That poor horse. Anyway, they're cruising along here at a pretty slow pace. They're almost 48 and a half to the half, which is slow, And right there, I'm going to back this up a little bit. Right there, you saw Sovereignty kind of give up a little bit of ground. And I was texting with John after this, and I don't know, like right here, I got a little nervous. Like, oh, maybe he's a little tired. And he dropped all the way back to basically last. And I wonder if he's just trying to get in the clear. He was just trying to make sure he didn't get boxed in. Baez is coming up Baez is coming up his inside, and he can either try and match wits with him or let him go, and then try and take him all the way around. Like, he is in like the 8 path here, and still was able to circle the field and win pretty much in hand. Baeza ran a huge race. I'll back this up a little bit again. Like right about here, I thought Baeza was coming back on him, and it was going to be interesting, but Sovereignty just kind of pulls away. I thought Baeza ran a big race. I was a little disappointed. I thought Hill Road would run a little bit better. I thought Moplex would run a little bit better. And we pretty much knew Sandman was not going to run well at all. But I just keep going back to this because this was interesting to me. And if you listen to Junior after the race, he basically said he either had a choice to continue to go with Baeza or just let him pass him, knowing that he had the best horse in the race, and try and circle the field and win it. And that's exactly what he did. So kudos to Sovereignty and Junior, and for a for a 5 horse race with some decent horses. Obviously, I think every horse in this field is this. Well, except Baeza, funny enough, is a stakes winner. Um, for a 5 horse field, there certainly was a lot of action going on in this race. But Junior, Sovereignty continue to pour it on here, really. And I was thinking this too after the race. What does the 3-year-old championship picture look like? And obviously, Sovereignty is the leader in the clubhouse with the Belmont win, the Derby win, the Jim Dandy win. Obviously those 2 classics carry more weight than anything. Journalism does have 3 grade 1s this year: the Santa Anita Derby, the Haskell, and the Preakness. So we'll see where journalism lands next. They always kind of seem like they don't really know what they want to do, or at least they drag their feet in letting people know what their plan is. But I think journalism would have to win the Breeders' Cup Classic, I think, to get that 3-year-old championship honors. I think there's still an outside chance that he gets it, but Sovereignty definitely has the advantage at this point. So overall, I thought it was a fine race, and I think we kind of knew what was going to happen there, right? Sovereignty, Baeza, and everybody else, and that's exactly how it played out. Baeza to me is interesting. Like, he runs well when he finishes second or third. He just doesn't win. I mean, the horse just has that maiden win to his credit. But he always tries, always runs hard, and is always about second best. So I imagine he'll show up in the Travers. He'll probably take some money there, and we'll see what happens. Maybe he turns the tables on everybody in the Travers, kind of like will take charge from 2013, when will take charge went through the Triple Crown, finished second in the Jim Dandy behind Palace Malice, and then got his nose down on the wire in the Travers to beat everybody. I remember I was in the bathroom at Saratoga that morning. Some guy asked me who I liked, and I just said, "I tell you who I don't like. Will take charge." And he won. So we'll see what happens with Baeza moving forward. I got a couple of things I still want to talk about, but let's pause here for a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Go.
All right, welcome back. A lot of action kind of off the track in racing the last couple of weeks. You had Rapoli going on Twitter saying that the Friday card at Saratoga was terrible, and there's all these issues with horse racing that needs to get fixed, and yada yada. And he's right. I mean, that Friday card was pretty terrible. It's like claimer, maiden claimer, claimer, maiden claimer, and you had a one stakes race. And I don't know what the answer is, right? I think we can all kind of look at a variety of different causes, right? The breeding to sell as opposed to breeding to race, full crop, uh, the condition book, all of this stuff we can point at. I had two thoughts on this. One, like we've talked before, like the lack of creativity from racing is just upsetting, right? Like how can you run a successful business without thinking outside the box? You just can't really. And then the other thing, and I like Rapoli a lot. I think he's very funny. I think he's great for the game. His horses are great to root for. They win a lot. He is an overall large net positive for the sport. This whole commissioner bit is funny, but I think he kind of steps in it when he puts stuff like that out. And I think we're all still kind of like looking around, wondering what that, National Thoroughbred Alliance has accomplished at this point. And maybe I missed something. Maybe I'm not aware of something that has been accomplished, but you don't really hear much about it anymore. And when we were hearing about it, it was, oh, all this stuff's happening in the background. We're going after the low hanging fruit first. I mean, there's a ton of low hanging fruit in, in horse racing. And I don't know that anything has gotten accomplished. Races are still being timed incorrectly. We're still paying ridiculous amounts of money for PPs and data. We're still watching overall poor racing. Tracks are still closing. So aftercare is still a major problem. So I'm just wondering what has been accomplished at this point. And I like Mike. I think he's great for the game. But when you come out and say that you're going to do all of this stuff, don't really offer specifics, and then you fire off these long tweets like that, which he's right. It's just hard to get fired up about it all when we haven't seen anything change in the last 2 years. And that's a bummer. That's a big bummer. And it's just, I don't know. It's just maybe a shot to a little bit of his credibility when he's out there saying all this stuff and nothing's changed. Nothing's happened. Nothing's been improved. If anything, it's gotten worse. Anyway, I think Saratoga, I love it there. The physical place. I love being there. Tons of great memories there. I asked my wife to marry me on the roof there. So it always kind of holds a special place in my life, in our lives, in our families' lives. But the racing product has not been good for a while. It's not been good for the last couple of years. Now, I haven't been there yet this normal season. I was there that Thursday of the 4th of July racing festival, and there was hardly anybody there. The energy was just like, I don't know, you might as well have been at Freehold. Which, sad to see Freehold close. Was it 2 summers ago? Last summer. Anyway. It's just different now. The racing is just different, and it just lacks day-to-day excitement. And I don't know if it's marketing. I don't know if it's the horses themselves. I don't know if it's the tracks themselves. I don't know. I really don't know. But it's tough to get excited about the racing product outside of a couple days at Saratoga, when in the past every day was a great day of racing. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the Kentucky Oaks moving to prime time the Friday before the Derby. And I'm wondering why that was the move. And my guess is because the other competing networks have stuff going on Friday in prime time, and NBC wants to compete with that. ABC and ESPN have the NHL playoffs at that time, I think. And I forget what TNT, TBS has the NBA playoffs. It's odd to me that horse racing would go right up against those major sports, the playoffs of those major sports. So a bit of a peculiar move to move the post time to late night, especially when you've already got really great attendance, um, on track. You've already got, good handle on track. So the TV thing is interesting to me. Like nobody really wants to carry horse racing, right? Like I think if horse racing could get off NBC, they would jump they would jump at the opportunity to get off NBC, but they're not. They're always on NBC because I think that's the only network that wants it. And kudos to them for trying something different. I'm interested to see how it works. But on the surface, it just seems a little odd to go right up against uh, the NHL and NBA playoffs. Some people were saying that perhaps this is a way to get the Derby into prime time, which, yeah, all right. But again, like, I mean, the Derby's the Derby. And I think last year and even this year, it was like a top 20 most watched sporting event. So I get that, right? Like that would make sense because it's 2 minutes, right? People tune in, maybe let's say the race goes off at 8, people tune in at 7, 7:30. But a lot of these playoff games start at 7 or 7:30. So I'd just be interested to see how that all works and how that all plays out. But kudos to Churchill Downs trying something different. We'll see how it works. On the surface, seems like a little bit of a stretch. We're just very curious what the strategy to that would be. I mean, I'll watch it, right? I'm gonna watch. Um, I care more about the Kentucky Oaks than I do about um, you know, game 4 of the first round of either NHL or NBA playoffs. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, I think I'll leave it there. Thank you all for another great week. Sunday morning coffee on Past the Wire TV, Shore Bet Coffee, AmWager. I'm Big Race Jim, and we'll check in with you guys next Sunday morning. Have a great week.
Go.
It's simplification and Javier.
Here comes journalism, here comes sovereignty, and they square off, head into the final Sovereignty wins the Derby!
You're watching Past the Wire TV. Hit that like button and subscribe to Past the Wire TV. Nobody does it better.